So I thought that I would start by doing a video blog about something I never get tired of talking about, which is books and authors. So I'm going to talk about an author who's very special to me, and I'm going to read a couple of poems from one of her newer collections, and I'm going to cry a little bit, so you should be prepared for that. So the author is Francesca Lia Block, and she's one of the most important young adult writers who've written in the last 20 years, at least. And it all starts with a book that she wrote in 1989 called Weetzie Bat, which is the first book in the Weetzie Bat series, which is 5 books together. And they're collected now in a big edition called Dangerous Angels. This is an old edition, but you can get it pretty much anywhere because they are classics, and they were super influential in the field of young adult literature because it introduced a very style-wise and craft-wise a very interesting and original voice, which was very focused on magic realism. And all the books, almost all of them, take place in Los Angeles, which is a character in the books, as it is in Francesca Lia Block's life, and it's a place filled with dreams and magic and mermaids and fairies, and so this is a huge thing in young adult literature now, but in 1989 it was out there. And the first line of Weetzie Bat is infamous and fabulous, and it is, the reason Weetzie Bat hated high school was because no one understood. So the 5 books that make up the Weetzie Bat series are about Weetzie and her family and her friends, and there's a character in them who has 2 books of her own, books number 2 and books number 4, and her name is Witch Baby, and she's one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Witch Baby was my first online identity. I very grudgingly gave it up to be Library Princess. It was the first AIM name I had. It was the first message board name I ever used because I love Witch Baby. She's complicated and angry a lot, and she doesn't make it easy to love her, but there's something really irresistible about her. And her 4th book is super special to me, and it's called Missing Angel Juan, and it's about what happens when people who love each other can't be together the way maybe that they wish they could be. And the end, the last line, which I'm going to read, always makes me cry, and I think it's a beautiful end of a thing to say to somebody that you've loved. So the end of Missing Angel Juan is Witch Baby thinking about Angel Juan. And she says, "I might not see Angel Juan for a while, but we'll see each other again. Meet to dream, rock, slink, slam it, jam it in the heart of the world, like we always do." And it just gets me, as you can see. So this is all of the books together, and also included in here is the 5th book, which is called Baby Bebop, and it's about a gay teenager, and it was also super influential, and it's beautiful. And years later, Francesca Lia Block returned to these characters and wrote a book for adults called Necklace of Kisses, which is about the whole crew as grown-ups, and it also meant a lot to me at a very lonely period in my life in Mississippi in April of 2006. I didn't have a lot of money, and I used what I had left to buy this, and it was really fun to revisit the characters as adults, and you could read this standalone, but you would be missing out on a wonderful, wonderful world. And so what I'm going to read from today are a couple of poems from one of her newest books, which is called How to Uncage a Girl, and it's Poems for Girls. And it, like everything else by her, is based in mythology, astrology, kind of the world of the unseen and the unknown. And the girl on the cover is actually one of her MySpace friends that she won a contest, because Francesca Lia Block, of course, is powered by her fans to a large degree. So the book is split up into a variety of poems, some that are for famous people, because again, Los Angeles, big part of her work, some that are for men, some that are for her daughter, because she has a daughter and a son now, and they really frequently color her writing. But the poems that I am going to read are from the section called Love Poems for Girls, and they're very empowering, because that's another thing I really have always loved about Francesca Lia Block and is influential about her, which is that women in her books are very strong, they have strong friendships, they're feminists, and they're not afraid to identify that way. So the poem I'm going to start with is called For the Girls. I searched for him in the dancer dark, and I prayed for him in the new moon park, and I called to him with my poetry, but perhaps I was not yet ready, because he did not come. Instead, the girls danced along with their arms full of flowers, songbirds on their shoulders. They made me strawberry smoothies decked with parasols and photographs of fairies. And they told me that I had helped them. Now we want to help you, they said. Their tears were like the rain that washed grief's memory from my back step. We put on my grandmother's tattered silk kimonos and my 8-inch platforms, took photos of each other laughing and glamorous, and ate red velvet cake on rose petal strewn plates. They were my sisters and my daughters. And in those moments, I forgot that he was not there, and I forgot to fear that he might never come. So, again, that's a really great poem, I think, and it certainly has been good for me. And the poem that comes directly after it is another one of my favorites, and it's called Pain is Like an Onion by Francesca Lia Block. Remove one layer and the next is there. Keep peeling, my beloved, peeling and chopping, putting it in the pan. Fry it to translucency and eat it. Let it digest. It's only been 1.5 years since he took your heart from your chest. Peeled it, chopped it, fried it, ate it, spit it out. Eventually, a new one will grow back. Eventually, the tears will stop. So the book is How to Uncage a Girl, and it's full of poems like that, and all of her writing is full of that kind of imagery and that kind of language. Not everybody likes it. It can be hard to swallow. She makes up words. But I think that it works very well, and it achieves her purposes grandly, which is to create an entire world. And it's a world that I've always been happy in, and now more than ever I've found a great deal of solace in it. So again, her name is Francesca Lia Block, and I would recommend starting with Dangerous Angels, the Weetzie Bat books. And Dangerous Angels comes from a quote from the first book, which is that love is a dangerous angel. And I think maybe when it comes to Francesca Lia Block's work, that says it all.